tau e te iwi wānui nau mai oki mai ki te korimako o Taranaki. And of course, as we know, we're all feeling the effects of Cyclone Gabrielle. And with me, I have Todd Velvin from the Taranaki Civil Defence here in Taranaki, talking to us and giving us those messages that we all need to hear and know at this moment in time. Nō reira, tēnā koe, Todd, and welcome to Te Korimako o Taranaki.
Yeah, kia ora. Thank you, and a pleasure to be here, and thanks for the opportunity to share more of our Civil Defence messages, our Taranaki Emergency Management Office, what's going on. So, big weather event in Taranaki at the moment. Cyclone Gabrielle is well entrenched across the North Island, so we're not as bad as some of our nearest neighbours in our whānau in the upper parts of the North Island. But across Taranaki at the moment, we are seeing strong winds hammer the region. Not so much rain, but a lot of strong winds, and we're seeing some regular calls through to our emergency service partners around, a little bit of damage and stuff to some property and houses. So key things for us, for people to know, is that if you are experiencing, a roof off moment, or a tree or debris coming through your house, and it's going to have that impact or threat to your life or your property, don't forget, you must call 111 first. Your safety is paramount, and the emergency services through 111 as we will access that. Going on from there, if there is anything that needs to be followed up, if there's places that you can't stay, that's when Civil Defence will come in and we can start managing that alongside those emergency service partners. Lots of information out there for the public as well. So if you do have a mobile phone that's still charged, or you've got a battery pack, or you do lucky enough to have power and internet at the moment, lots of places to be informed, whether it by radio stations or media sites, social media pages, plus our Met Service web pages, our local council pages. The Powerco website has a good outage one, NZTA around road closures. So there's lots of ways to be informed, and plan your day. Our main message, though, why we're going through this little bit of wind for the rest of the day, is to try and stay at home. Shelter at home, shelter in place. Most of the schools are closed, so stay at home with the kids, spend some time with them, and try and stay off the roads and out of the weather. Even if you don't have power, it's a great time to connect and potentially, go back to some old school games, the pack of cards or the guitar or something like that, and do, some old school connecting with the tamariki rather than just front of devices. So stay at home as much as you can today. Avoid travelling on the roads, and hopefully we'll see this weather ease this afternoon.
Thank you for that, Todd. And of course, when we take a look at our weather, it is very different from the north to the south to the coastal areas. Tell us about the weather and what that's going to look like probably in the next 12 hours.
Yeah, so at the moment, the Met Service forecast for us is our red warning should finish around 6 p.m. tonight. We are already experiencing the winds easing across most of some parts of the region. We're still up around 100 k's, definitely on the South Taranaki area. So we are going to see that ease. So from tomorrow onwards, we should start to see clearance in the weather, which will mean we can, maybe get out and clean the garden a little bit more, or the leaves out of the gutter, or get rid of those trees that might be scattered everywhere, or pick up the trampolines that have been blown around. Our nearest neighbours through the rest of the North Island, most people will be aware there's a national state of emergency now. We've had 6 different civil defence groups declare a local state of emergency, so the central government are helping them now for national state. And we're seeing really, Tairāwhiti, Hawke's Bay, Napier, Auckland, Northland, Waikato, they are having significant issues at the moment. So, our hearts and minds go out to them, and we'll be offering them support to those people once we get through our local event.
So is there any more, has there been anything come through about the 2 firemen up in Auckland?
Yeah, so as far as where we're still one missing, and one in critical condition, and one in a stable condition. So very sad news. They were volunteer fire brigade at Muruwai, yeah, just unfortunate circumstance of events that caused that incident to happen. So yeah, volunteers again doing a great job. It was just unfortunate, and our hearts definitely go out in thoughts with those families that are involved in that incident developing in Auckland.
Very much so, very much so. Ka tuku te reo aroha ki a tātou nei wanaunga ki te tai rāwhiti, ki te tai tokerau, pika atu ki a Tamaki Makaurau, no reira mihi kawan, ka tuku te reo aroha ki a rātou. And again, you know, very significant, this cyclone. So it's hit the whole of Aotearoa in different ways, but is it the first time in history that this has happened?
Well, no, we go back to
yeah,
we go back to 1988 when Cyclone Gabrielle did a similar thing, and those that are probably old enough can remember that it hit the East Coast very hard as well, and there was 3 fatalities out of Cyclone Gabrielle back in 1988. And Taranaki experienced similar winds, actually very strong winds. We also got significant rain in that event as well for Taranaki, which caused a few issues. But we have seen these events in the past, and I think for the New Zealand public now and what's transpired in Auckland, we are seeing more of these events become more severe and more common, I suppose, maybe with climate change and you know, the environment changing at the moment. So yeah, we have seen these in the past, but it seems to be more frequent now.
So all your volunteers, and mihi atu ki a rātou, to all your volunteers and to those that work within the Taranaki Civil Defence Emergency, tell me, how big is your rōpū? How big is your group in terms of the whole of Taranaki?
Yeah, so my team, my staff that I have in my normal business as usual job, there's a group of 10 of us that work for the region. So we're employed by 4 councils, the 1 regional council and the 3 district. And then we have a huge pool of volunteers from across the region that help the councils in response and us in response, and our partner agency. So I look outside my office door at the moment to our coordination centre. We have police, FENS, St John's, Te Aranga are here as well. So we have a huge amount of people. I've got NEMA from central government in the room. So we have a wide range. MPI are there as well. So it's a time when we all got to come together and do the hard yards for what's best for our communities and our regions. And sometimes it's very hard to gather information in times like this with networks down, but it's come together and try and make a collective picture to provide what's best for the community.
So don't lose trust. So we shouldn't lose trust in you guys.
No. I mean, sometimes it's very hard, and I can give an example at the moment. What's happening in Tarawhiti is they have no 111 service. Most of their comms are down, so they're struggling to get a picture of what's happening. And we sometimes have the same, especially with our communities that are maybe a little bit more isolated or a bit more remote. Sometimes it's very hard to get a picture of what's happening, but by any means, we always recommend getting hold of councils through their 0800 number. If it's a significant issue, they'll pass it on to us, or as I said before, if it's a threat to your life and property, 111 is the best means. And we can provide help where needed.
Now, what about emergency packs?
Yeah, definitely. So this is a good opportunity. I definitely went through mine on the weekend, and I know there's lots of media out there. So make sure you've got your emergency pack ready, your get ready bag, and you have the discussions with your whānau. So, what you can do. I've got kids at home at the moment because they're off school, so they know the plan, what we're to do if the power goes out or if dad has to go to work. So we have those conversations, and they know where the kit is and what to do in the kit, because it's important. And mum and dad or aunt and uncle might not be around necessarily. There might be that circumstances. So everybody needs to know the plan. And I always get to know your neighbours. Know the neighbours, because the neighbours can help you out really well. So it's a good opportunity to connect as a community with each other.
Okay. I'll tell you what, don't forget, whānau, to if you have got power, make sure that you charge your phones and everything that you've got data on, because when the power goes out, internet goes out, and of course you can't be able to message to your whānau. But make sure you've got data and she's all powered up. And I think, Todd, that can you just give us those messages again, just a reminder to our people, to all of our people, of what is going to be happening, say, in the next 12 hours, in the next 24 hours from today. Kia ora.
Kia ora. So yeah, just a reminder, stay at home today, shelter in place, ride out the storm, try and avoid any travel on major roads and avoid that. I mean, we're well used to working remotely because of COVID, what we went through with COVID. So stay at home, ride out the storm. We are going to see the weather ease this afternoon. The wind should start to abate. So hopefully as our power crews get the power back on, we should return to some normality tomorrow. There will be a bit of mop up, so just be careful. Your safety is paramount. So ride the storm out, and we wish everybody well. And if you need help, reach out, please.
Ka pai. No reira, just that last bit, you fell off the old stream out there. Just who do they reach out to?
Yeah, so they can reach out to the council's 0800 numbers. That's the best place. So our councils, our local district councils, so South Taranaki, Stratford, or New Plymouth, if they will either direct you in the right direction, or they'll forward you through to us, or if it's life threat to property, it's through 111.
Okay. No reira, no runga I tēnā ngā mihi kia koutou, ngā kaitiaki e tiaki maira I a tātou I tēnei wā tonu. Me te tuku atu I te reo aroha ki a rātou ki te tairau iti, ki te tai tokerau, me ngā wāhi ke atu I a Taranaki. No reira, thank you very much, Todd, for coming on board with us and giving us those messages that we need to know right now. And it's nice to know that it's going to subside later on this afternoon, but you just never know, the winds might pick up again, we don't know, but as long as we're ready, that's the main thing. No reira, tēnā koe.
Kia ora.